Welcome to the Funky Intellect Podcast, where I explore life topics through ridiculousness and real talk. Join me every week for conversations that make you think and music suggestions that make you move. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Funky Intellect Podcast. I have the homie today with me, which is great. I've been missing having a co-host, and I think the podcasts are a little better when I have some folks. So I am working on getting us more guests, but who best to actually be on the podcast today than the best friend? So best... Wow. Okay. Not too much. Okay. Me and you. Okay. Not too much. Not too much. So we got Bree, everybody, at Black Gold Texas Tea. She has joined us to discuss something near and dear to our Black ass hearts, and that is Texas and Black people.
Specifically.
Yes. Welcome to the podcast. Welcome back. Clap it up. Clap it up. Welcome back to the podcast. How you been?
I've been all right. It's been crazy. It's been hot, but you know, we out here.
It is hot. It is hot. Today is Juneteenth, everybody. Just so you know, Texas is in its warm-up season. Mm-hmm. Okay, the oven is preheating.
It is not on.
In Houston, we're getting rain, which actually in Dallas, you've been getting rain too.
Unusually, yeah. But like that means it's just been humid, which also makes me think by the time July and August roll around, it's about to be
popping
bad
in a way that we kind of maybe don't want.
Every summer, it's already. I've already started putting the reflectors up in the car. You know.
I gotta get me one.
You don't have. How you moving to a sink in the reflectors?
Don't judge me. I'm just out here raw dogging
baby,
the sun.
The heat, you're going to be marinating in there. You have a good solid 10, 15 degrees more coolness when you get in the car. And that is, when it's 115.
I'm going to get one.
It's 100% needed, because I got in the car the other day. I was like, oh, it's time. It's time to pull out the.
You said, oh, we've arrived.
We've arrived. We had a little bit of delay for the rain, but no, it's here. I mean, the first official day of summer is like on the 21st or whatever, so.
My arrival time, I was going to a party, and the way I feel like I was just like, outside, I said, oh, no, we can't never do this. Like, we got to get in the car, straight to the destination, air on full blast the whole time. I don't even have the pre-cool fans and stuff, like the fancy stuff. It's a struggle bus, but whatever. At some point, it's Texas, so
yeah, it's gonna be hot either way. But a little improvements, because trying to wrestle a small child into a car seat in the heat,
it sounds bad. It sounds bad. I ain't even gonna hold you. It sounds bad.
I wish it was like when we were kids, when we just sat in the seat with a towel. You had to do all. We didn't have all the.
That's true. You put your towel down. You put your towel down and you get on.
We was blessed because we survived. We survived because we should have been in those car seats for quite some time.
That makes me think maybe I should get like a big. Anyway, okay. Look, we're gonna go sideways, and we'll go a different place. But bringing it back to June, it's Juneteenth weekend specifically. It's June 19th. Y'all won't get this podcast until tomorrow, June 20th, because my editing ain't that fast, but still relevant. Juneteenth weekend, your Southern people or Black people in general are celebrating. And I wanted to talk about the Juneteenth topic because there's so many layers of Juneteenth.
But do the people know what Juneteenth is?
I'm going to let them know. Okay. But the first thing we're going to do, the first thing we're going to do, we're going to get into what's funky today. So the playlist for today, I'm going to play y'all a little snippet, and I try to put together a playlist that actually speaks to, you see my hands, the situation at hand. So I put together my Spotify playlist. You can also find this on YouTube. But the soundtrack for today is Liberation by Outkast featuring CeeLo Green. Okay. The Funky Intellect playlist this go round is just about happiness and joy and, you know, black people being black. Okay. Niggas gonna nig every time. You know what I'm saying? Like all of the things. I didn't want to make it real downtrodden in the dough, you know, go young Moses way down in Egypt land. Like, I didn't want that. Let my people go. I didn't want that. So I'm gonna give y'all a snippet of Liberation by Outkast. I don't know if do you remember this song?
I think I do a little bit. When you start playing it, I'm gonna tell you for sure if it's what I think it is.
Okay. I'm gonna try to turn the volume up because I am definitely working off of a Bluetooth here. And we're going to see if the audio is going to be decent. I feel like I need to, it's not something I can sing. Never mind. I actually have a couple of songs off this playlist that I want to give y'all. Okay, so it's 3. I kind of went a little bit longer on this playlist. I doubled it. So instead of 5 songs, it's 10 songs.
Oh.
I just...
Bonus for blackness?
They was coming. I mean, they were coming so fast. I said, well, I got to give them this one. You know what I'm saying? So I narrowed it down, 3 for the pod. Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm just put them. See, and this is how the playlist going to get flagged. Because I'm out here like, I'm just going to put it on. I'm just going to put it on the
like
podcast.
You said, just sing it. Just get in there.
No, we're not going to do that. No, it's too many songs. So I'm going to read them out and then I'll find a way to add them to the pod. That's easy. So, okay, the first one is Liberation by Outkast and CeeLo. The second one is Celebrate by Common. When I first heard the Common celebration song, I was like, you know what? This is the best barbecue cookout. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, he said he got all his people around, you know, woo, woo, woo. I said, that Common, he gonna always make a liberation song. Him in a sweater. Oh, Common's gonna wear his knit hat and bring people together through unity. So I like that one. And then, of course, Black Parade by Beyonce. Beyonce stays being blackity black, black, black. And the first line is, I'm going back to the South. Back, where my roots ain't watered down. Yeah, so we put that on there. So I'm gonna figure out how to put it on the pod. But those are the 3 songs on the soundtrack for this particular episode. Again, you can find the playlist on YouTube and Spotify. One day Spotify is gonna give me a deal, and I'm gonna be able to put all the music I want in various places.
I received that for you. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Anyway, so jumping into the topic of the podcast. We're talking about Juneteenth because everybody has a different feeling about Juneteenth. The overall feeling is happiness and liberation, but also there are some things that just put a sour taste in your mouth. So let's talk about what Juneteenth is. Breon, you already know. Interrupt me. Okay? Interrupt me if I'm leaving something out. So I just gave us a little cliff note. So June 19th, 1865, 2 years after the Emancipation Proclamation was signed, 2 years after they was like, yeah, y'all can go. The people in Galveston, Texas did not get that word until June 19th of 1865. Some Union soldiers came down and was like, actually,
y'all free.
I'm gonna need y'all to log out. Just I'm gonna need y'all to go ahead and go. Y'all actually free. And yeah, the slaves were like, word, that's crazy. And so now on Juneteenth, in the South, people celebrate the freeing of the slaves. How did I do? That's it, right? That's the long and short.
I mean, it's like 4th of July, but for black people only. From Texas specific.
Exactly. So that is Juneteenth. So just in case y'all wanted to know, we ain't gonna go into it. Now, this is the thing. Back in the gap during the penny, okay, in 2021, Joe Biden decided to go ahead and make Juneteenth a federal holiday. I was about to say a federal law. And that's why I tell you to interrupt me, because that could have went the wrong way. Yeah, I caught it.
I think, but also, just for context, 2020 was also notating, in addition to the panini, there was also the time frame of the Black Lives Matter, like, worldwide protest. So it seems as if this was a political...
It was a political answer.
Yes, to like, oh no, we're gonna celebrate Blackness and Black people. I remember at the job that I had at the time that was in corporate, they had just discovered that Black people existed, and so we had like the summits and all manner of whatnot in the wake of all the controversy. It was very interesting, and so now here we are, a couple of years later from that time frame, with Juneteenth as a federal holiday and all the things that come with not gatekeeping.
Yeah.
And capital.
Yeah. So as an answer, here we come. I think George Floyd's murder, it spurred so much stuff, like on. You know what I mean? And so a little history, there was a activist and teacher that had been trying to get Juneteenth like down as a federal holiday already. Her name was Opal Lee. Opal Lee was like, rah, 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 sis, boom, bye, let's get it in there.
Shout out to the D9 Zetas.
Oh, she was up. You know, Black excellence be Black excellence.
I'm an AKA, but you know, we represent all our peoples.
Yeah. What's that little thing like this?
You can't do the symbol. You can't do the symbol.
Oh, I can't. Okay, shout out to the blue.
Just say Zetas. The Zetas.
Shout out to the blue. Anyway, just say that. Okay, shout out to the Zetas. Let me just tell you, this is going to circle back around to another joke much later in the podcast. Anyway, yeah, so she was trying to get it done. Boom, George Floyd was murdered. Boom, everybody found out that Black people existed as human beings. And then here come Biden, like, you know what? Let me give y'all Juneteenth as the...
We needed something for some solidarity. We needed to put a period on that sentence.
Insert that meme of the senators kneeling in the kente cloth.
Still angry.
They ain't had to do that. They didn't have to do that. But yeah, so solidarity, here we are. It's a holiday. The reason we're talking today is because that as a holiday or that stand in solidarity, it ain't necessarily what people wanted. And so there's so many feelings behind it. Also, lots of jokes from Black people behind Juneteenth. Yeah, I mean, because we gotta make everything funny. So my first bullet point on just the whole Juneteenth federal holiday specifically was capitalism.
Capitalism gonna capital every time. Commodification of everything all of the time.
The way Walmart put out that Juneteenth ice cream
that they stole.
I said, you know what? I want to just tell America, if I could, like if it was a little kid, put it back, take it back off the books, because y'all don't know how to act. We was doing just fine with Juneteenth not being a federal holiday, okay? Nobody needs to get off work. Black people was going to take the day off anyway, okay? We was going to make the decision based on our bills if we were going to work anyway, okay? Bills and plans. Capitalism has done a doozy with Juneteenth because I don't think businesses and companies know where to land.
Ever. And I feel like this is with any Black History Month, Pride Month, Women's History Month. It's just mouth words all together, like inspirations and kente cloth and rainbows and And that should be good, right?
I think that with capitalism, specifically for Juneteenth, it really shed a light on what American marketing thoughts or thinks Black people gravitate towards.
It's like they asked AI. And AI gave them an AI answer, but they just kept going with it. There's very few corporations that at least there are some that are giving back to Black charities, or taking some of the some of the other ones that just out here, schlocking out t-shirts.
The only people that have done a decent job that I can recall, just a big brand, is Target.
JCPenney. JCPenney be on with the Blackness. I discovered this more so after I had my little, but they were fashion that makes an impact. They got partnerships with BIPOC folks, and they've been doing Black is Beautiful, Black is all of that kind of stuff. They donate stuff back to I think they donate to Opal Lee's Walk of Freedom. And so so no, JCPenney be I'm
okay,
much better. If I was gonna pick corporations to get involved with
you JCPenney is you and nobody else. You know what? JCPenney probably got Black staff.
I mean, JCPenney still got some Black folk. I mean, most people got at least one or two Black staff, but they actually seem like they ask their Black staff, "Is this a good idea?" Or not? Because I feel like that's the other part, is that if they have Black staff, some of these people are not asking the questions that they need to ask.
Okay, playing devil's advocate, are they? Well, you know what? Never mind. They not asking the questions. I just thought I had a quick flashback to a company I worked for, and they were like, to all the Black people, tell us what being Black means to you. But this was a Black History Month, and I will say I did not participate. No.
I spent an hour explaining to my director once upon a time about being Black. It was an experience.
Why would you do that?
Because she was just has that happened? We were talking about people being prejudiced and stuff, and she was just and she's an older Caucasian lady, and she was just has that happened to you? That's so unfortunate. I was just oh, bless your heart. So it's I'm trying to give you the Invisible Man version, where it's I'm not trying to give you too much, but I'm trying to give you enough, because I'm still, at work, and so I'm just I did not want to spend my day.
Was that during George Floyd?
Yes.
Or something?
This was in the wake.
What was she asking?
This was in the wake of George Floyd, when everybody discovered Black people existed, and there was worldwide protests. And so then all the places were oh, let's investigate Blackness. Let's make Black, Black associations in the company and stuff. Yes, we've had all kinds. We had Pride, we had women, but we never had any Black people. We forgot we had Black people. Oh my goodness. And so then they had Black people, come up and be empowered and whatnot to share and be Black.
Interesting. I'll be honest. This is the thing. I'm probably in the corporate realm, just because we're talking about capitalism and such. We are never, I can't say we. I am rarely going to participate when you're asking me some baseline stuff, right? I will step in and be don't do that on behalf of the Black community. Don't do that. Don't say that.
It depends on how
we don't want that. But okay, me myself personally, no. When they hit that, tell us what Black history means to you.
No. I did participate in the Black History Bowl, and I did win a gift card, because I love my Black history facts. So I did do that at work the one time. They had to.
Yes, but I'm not giving a Black statement for the company to use.
No, I never. I didn't do that for women. I don't do that.
No, find somebody else to be your poster child. And really, speaking of poster children, and going back to capitalism, the whole Pancake, Aunt Jemima situation they also, at the same time, they took that black lady off that box.
Well, it's interesting because, they had started out with the bandana and then they gave her that Oprah haircut. And then they took off completely because at first Angel Mama had the whole bandana. She had the mammy.
Why would you say they gave her that Oprah
They
haircut?
had the Oprah, we gonna and find a picture and we gonna flash it up there. Because they gave her little Oprah,
I understand.
Roller set. They gave her roller set.
Yeah, the conservative roller blowout.
Yeah. And so now they was just like, oh no, we're just not gonna do it at all. Which is, it's those weird things that I feel like the larger swaths of, like, I'll say middle America think people want, like when they stop calling stuff master bedroom. And it's like,
or they take plantation off of things. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Or they take plantation off.
Now for a while I was conflicted about my plantation mint tea because it was delicious, but then I was just like,
right.
And it was black tea too, which I felt like was British for. It was plantation mint.
It was black tea.
It was a black tea called plantation mint. I'm like, did y'all plan this? Oh. Like, what is happening? But it ain't plantation mint no more. It's not plantation mint no more. I think it's just what do they call it now? I think it's perfectly mint now. Instead of plantation
that's
mint.
Nice.
They changed it. It was a Bigelow tea. Yep, it's perfectly mint. I just went and looked. It's perfectly mint.
Yeah, perfectly mint. So we're mentioning capitalism and all that other stuff, and the purpose of the funky intellect is to get people to think better, reshape how they think about things. And so at the end of each little segment or bullet point, I kind of want to give people an idea just in case Walmart does decide to listen to this, right? Beyond stop stealing, what can companies do specifically besides Oprah haircuts, you know what I mean, and asking black people for statements on stuff they don't want to talk about, et cetera, et cetera? It's money.
It's money. For me, it's money. But open your purse. Open your wallet.
They just need to sponsor black companies.
Yes. Here's the thing that, and I said this having worked in corporate for a while, a lot of times, even if they say, oh, we have like a diverse workforce, it's not in your offices, right? It's not in your management. It is in your customer service. It is in your pick and pack. You're not necessarily giving voices to, if you're like in retail, the voices of black designers, black creatives, all that kind of stuff. It's not. And what you need to oil those wheels, money, access, which comes with money. So for me, it's money. And that's why I say JCPenney, like they're giving back to the people. They are having, they have specific initiatives that focus on black people. Like that's the kind of stuff that I need to see personally. And not just like Wells Fargo where they was cheating black people out their money and they were just like, oh no, we sponsor black businesses, but then we give black people interest rates that are astronomically higher than their white counterparts, even if they're better qualified for the loan. Stuff like that. Also, don't be racist, but also money.
Well,
they really don't be racist, but money.
You can't. Yeah, they can't put down the racism, but because if they put down that, where would we be? So okay, I'm gonna narrow it down a little bit more for business. So money in terms of we need to hire brown, black people outside and in the same departments you have us in. So you got to send customer service, et cetera, et cetera. What you say, pack and pull, et cetera. Get us in the corporate office, right? Affect our money in that way, because there's plenty of people that are qualified at this point to be there. So actually do some due diligence to actually include brown people in your corporate offices that are not just the head and director of customer service. Another way to affect money is to actually partner with businesses that align with your business. So to the point, if you are a retail establishment, find some folk that got the products that you sell that are Black to sow into their business. Okay, so that affects the Black community and then Black folk and et cetera, et cetera. It's also gonna make your company look good because Black people's buying power is wild, right?
Yeah, so we will come through.
You also want that. Oh yeah, we 100% gonna show up. So money in that way. Also donations. Donate locally or not to organizations that are giving back. I would say donate to places where you can actually trace the money and see what's going on. So if it's like a yoga studio that's in the hood and is trying to get legs to provide, health and wellness classes, give to them. Okay, so then they can provide for the community surrounding, et cetera, et cetera. Money. I'm okay with that. Money. Okay, boom. The next thing with Juneteenth, we were talking about this earlier, and it's kind of just how do you celebrate Juneteenth, or how do we speak about Juneteenth, especially if you're not Black. Now, I'm going to tell y'all this right here. I said, I'm going to go ahead and be controversial. I said if I was a white person, I would just shut up. Because what you're not going to do is get me in a trick bag. Okay, I'm like, Happy Juneteenth. But that's not the right thing you're supposed to say. You ain't supposed to say Happy Juneteenth. Okay?
I hope you enjoy your holiday.
I hope, right. And if you're not good with words, if you white, I feel like at some point, we already going to be mad a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, this is a reminder, like, 1, slavery. 2, we was late.
2 years late.
If I'm telling you, if I was white and obviously I would have the Black homies, and if I just happen to be white and they happen to be Black, either I'm going with nothing or I'm going to let them approach the topic.
This is the time to listen.
And not insert myself into whatever they got going on. So just let me, take a step back, because I feel like you're always going to lose if you jump in feet first. I would kind of be quiet. Now, the Happy Juneteenth. This is how this conversation got started. We decided to do the podcast because saying Happy Juneteenth and you're not African American is not the what am I trying to say, Brianna? It's not like
that you.
It's not the well wishes that you want to give.
It feels a little awkward. Like, I know what you're trying to do, and I appreciate the thought. However, this is one of those. I think it's like when I found out that Yom Kippur isn't really like it can be like Happy Yom Kippur, because it's like a day of atonement for like the Jewish community, and so it's not a kind of holiday. And I don't know that because of also kind of tying back to capitalism, I don't think America knows how to do a holiday that's not a happy such and such. Like, because we have there's a Memorial Day sale. Like, Memorial Day is a more somber holiday, but somehow
America don't have no remorse. We don't have no remorse.
Somehow we understand it's just like barbecues and mattress sales. You know what I mean? And so
it's a hard time to find.
Culturally, a holiday is a happy day.
And I do think it's interesting to just going back to Memorial Day. It really do be mattress sales. And I'm like, how are we celebrating people that's 6 feet under with mattress sales? I don't like that. It's kind of like, I see the joke and I shouldn't see one. That's all I'm saying. I shouldn't see one. But yeah, you don't want a Happy Juneteenth if you're not, in the group. So I don't think it's a problem with like asking questions. Do you have anything planned?
Yeah.
Enjoy your day. You know what I mean? Again, but it goes back to me being safe. I'd be quiet.
Well, so you also speaking on this from the Black experience, so it's very difficult I feel like to divorce that in that way.
It's true, but at some time, think of it this way. If I happen to be Caucasian and I'm the type of Caucasian person that has a variety of friends and I'm just not in my like little bubble or whatever, I'm already quite aware. Like I knew Black people existed before George Floyd, right? So I do think it would be a little bit easier for them to just stay quiet. Now, your manager that you talked about at work that you had to talk to, she probably is not in that world, right? So I think it leaves the door open for the happy Juneteenth. Yeah. And it's like,
there's levels. There's levels because like my husband's best friend is Caucasian. And I never had a problem discussing Blackness with my husband's best friend because he's been around long enough and he's seen and experienced by proxy some things that make him not just completely ignorant to the situation. So it's easier to have that conversation. So there's shades of degrees. There's also some people that it's like, I don't want us to. We start from scratch. And I don't have the energy. I don't have it to do the educational thing. And I feel like maybe it's because I've gotten older or something. Like I used to try a lot more, and I love history and everything. I used to try more, but I think I've kind of, as they say, Google is free. But I'm just like, I've kind of given up some of that just because maybe I've been exhausted by it so much before. And I can't imagine for people who go into those spaces that, like my sister-in-law, she does race and reconciliation kind of work and around diversity and some other things. And like to have to do that all the time for work.
Yeah, I absolutely would never do that. I stopped explaining myself a very long time ago. And but what I did realize is there are still those types of people like your sister-in-law. I also have another friend. They are going to, that's their nature, and they're going to do the explaining. And so you just, I thank God for them and I champion those people that actually want to do that.
For sure.
But I'm hard pressed to explain anything to anybody now because I got too much to explain. Okay, I'm dark skinned, I'm gay, and I'm African American. I'm not explaining all that to you. No,
especially
I cannot.
If you don't have a baseline, like we got to start from scratch. There's conventions, but people pay for this kind of information. Like it takes a minute. We got to start from the beginning. Because like even if I were to go back and say like Texas specifically, so somebody might say, oh, why everybody else got free? Like Alabama and Mississippi, like people think of those as like the bastions of like racism and whatnot. Yeah. But Texas has a unique. If you read up on Texas, the entire reason, and I encourage everyone to read up on this, and I love history again. The Mexican-American War, when we fought over Texas, 100% because of slavery. Mexico said, we don't want slavery. And Texas said, oh, we absolutely love slavery. We're keeping it. We're absolutely doing it. And Mexico was like, all right, okay, fine. But don't bring no more slavery. Like if you just stop with the slavery you have, then we can work it out. And Texas was still like, no, not only are we going to keep the slavery, we're going to add on slavery. And so that's when they was just like, pew, 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 pew. And that's how we ended up in a conflict, though, with Mexico in behind Texas because a large tentpole of that was slavery and the fact that they wanted slavery so bad, and it was in the Constitution, they want slavery so bad that they was willing to fight a whole war for it, separate from the Civil War in the first place. They was fighting all this slavery so hard. That's also why there's a lot more Black Mexicans than you think. A lot of people ran to Mexico. Like, everybody wasn't going to Canada. Some Black people ran to Mexico because Mexico was like, we don't want to do the slavery thing.
One thing Texas gonna do is do their own thing. For better or for worse. It's terrible. we just gonna do the most. So, okay. How can we address people specifically if you happen to be not African American? What are we landing on? Our top two
Let's say, I hope you enjoy your Juneteenth holiday. That's a good one. It expresses well wishes. It acknowledges the day. Good stuff. For me.
Me?
Oh, it's just like, I don't want to hear it at all. Okay. All right.
Act like it don't exist. Just act like it don't exist. Because, I mean, especially now, I'm going to, I would just, me, myself personally, I would go with silence, but also enjoy your day. Because the enjoy your day could be like, enjoy your day. I'm surprised you're working. Like, who? That's why you got to go with silence.
Don't give no extra. Just go with.
But that's the thing. Some people don't know how to not do the extra. So
That is.
I personally think stay safe. You know, stay safe.
Donate to a black charity.
That's what I would do. Just stay safe. Enjoy your time. So yeah, I would definitely do that. If I was other. Okay. Real quick game.
What's the game?
Maybe it should be called Real Quick. Anyway.
How quick?
You see what I did there? Okay. Anyway, the next segment is kind of how we celebrate, Black people celebrate Juneteenth, and how we can find our liberation and our joy, et cetera, et cetera. However, I wanted you to name like one thing that you really like about Black people.
One thing that I like about Black people or celebrating Juneteenth?
Black people in a celebratory way. When you can mix them together.
Okay.
Black people celebrating is a whole nother realm of discussion.
I love how we are able to communicate non-verbally. I love how even if you don't know each other, never met each other before, we can look at each other. If something happens, we can look at each other and we know exactly. Now, I'm sure some of this is also born out of the traumas of slavery, not being able to communicate. So we have come up with a subculture that is entirely nonverbal. And so if I go up to any Black person and I say, were they know exactly what I mean.
Yeah, you are.
Like, or the reason why we can do acronyms, like those means like those long acronyms, and all Black people know exactly, like IKN, and like, I know you did. I love it. I love that about us.
Yeah.
I feel like that's one of the things that is unique to African Americans specifically.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that for us because it allows us also to have a certain amount of joy that belongs to us and that we can share with each other. Now, as far as like Juneteenth, I will say, like, I've been to the parades and all that kind of stuff, but I think my favorite thing to do is very quiet, is I like to drink a little red drink, a little more historically, the red drink. So, you know how we drink red soda? It's a throwback to hibiscus, the hibiscus drink that we used to make and a lot of people in the diaspora make. It's hibiscus and ginger, and it's also great for your health and anti-inflammatory, helps lower your blood sugar, all that good stuff. So I like to have a nice cup of hibiscus ginger tea, and that's my little thing that I do, and I'm gonna do that later on today.
Okay, so what I like about the African Americans, it's funny, it's communication as well. But it's the way we express our joy. So you're talking about nonverbal, and I literally went to verbal. African American commentary on a thing that we're all seeing or experiencing is top tier. There will be nothing, nobody can amount or beat Black folk commenting on whatever.
So specific.
It's so specific.
But understandable.
It is so specific, very understandable. I think we have an innate talent to make things relatable and funny and notice the nuances and things. I don't care if we're reviewing a movie, commenting on a TikTok video, or it's somebody walking into their house and we're commenting on their attire. We have some of the best commentary ever. Ever. And I really enjoy being a part of it. It's something to really be a part of it and not be like left out. And it's not something you have to try to be or try to do if you're raised in the culture of Blackness. And it doesn't matter which side of that you land on, because we're so multifaceted as Black folk. But somehow we come together, and those comments, they still mean the same thing to everybody's, from the person that was raised in the hood, for the person that was raised in the suburbs. But we've all had some type of Black culture. It all comes together, and we just get it. When I tell you I love watching Black people comment on a thing, I'm the person running to the comments 100% all the time, and I'm just going to cackle until I can't cackle no more. Now, speaking of Juneteenth celebrations, let's segue into what Black people can do to celebrate. I'm going to say I don't have a set way to celebrate Juneteenth. I feel like in my spirit, okay, I know what the day is. I don't have an actual thing. Now, I did go to a Japanese grill yesterday, and I grilled that shrimp over the little pit on the table. And that will count as my barbecue. But I do realize that should be better. There has been a lot of discourse about us not doing cookouts anymore. And so I do think that gathering has kind of dwindled for various reasons. But I do think prioritizing getting together needs to be a thing. And I'm not pointing the finger, because I obviously just told y'all I went to a Japanese grill. And I have nothing else planned today besides watching the Pop-Out, Kendrick Lamar's concert that's going to stream on Amazon Prime. But that's all I plan to do is watch it. You know, I think that because I live a dark-skinned experience, I'm blackity black all the time, so I don't necessarily feel a full-blown, push to celebrate. But I will say I miss genuinely being around Black people on great terms and just enjoying. There's a synergy and an energy to being around. So how can Black folk come together and celebrate Juneteenth? We have our historical things, right? Red velvet cakes and all that other good stuff. How can we come together and celebrate Juneteenth more than we already are?
I mean, I feel like also, like, the time frame, I feel like after COVID, or I guess COVID's still out there, but like after, I guess you could say, the height of the Panasonic, there was a lot of withdrawal from like shared society. And I think that a lot of things transferred to online, and, which was, a lifesaver. I don't know what we would have done without, if we didn't have the internet at this time. Like, I don't know how we would have survived it all. But I think there is this kind of broken piece about the community getting together, even like family reunions, stuff. Like, Black people just aren't as conscious of it. And I think we just need to, the first step is to be aware and to like start trying to plan those small gatherings, even if it's a small gathering. If it's not necessarily just like a full-blown family reunion, but if you and your cousins like get together and just like, I haven't seen my cousin in a long time, all the cousins get together and just kind of, get to know each other, let the kids get to know each other. And together, as my grandmother used to say, you got to know your people.
Yeah,
I feel like sometimes you got to start small. Like, if it's just like you and your friends, or like you and your classmates from college and you and your cousins, like, sometimes you got to start small and just go and find places to be at together. I feel like the biggest groups that I've been seeing lately are those run clubs.
Well, I will say this. Hold on, I'm going to interrupt you real quick. Quick. Speaking of virtually, me watching the Pop-Out, it is scheduled with other friends. Now, we won't be together. However, will we be on our phones commenting? we will be on our phones commenting, doing things of that nature. I do think virtual counts, especially if you're not with your people.
It definitely counts. It definitely counts. But I do think there is something in the human condition that requires sometimes a physical connection. And I think just after like 2020 and post, we've lost a lot of that. And I don't know if we're regaining the footing on it. If it's, I feel like some of it did pivot to virtual, but I feel like we've lost some of the footing on some of the other parts. And I don't even know if we'll ever regain it, at least not the way that it was before. And there's new iterations of it, but I don't want to discount the physical kind of aspect of it.
You know what I would love to see? Like, and this is from a person, like, I don't get together with family often, but I do enjoy Black people getting together, and like we all have on like the same T-shirts. We know why we're
like
around.
The love of color thing.
The kids might do something, you know, brief or whatever. The old people might do something brief or whatever, and then boom, you got the music going. You got the person on the grill. That I do miss. That if we can make that a boutique experience, so that we know why we're there, because I think a lot of times we'll get together and we know the date, right? But I mean, give me my commemorative shirt. Why do we link up? Oh, it's Juneteenth. You know what I mean? I don't want to be just left with a selfie of me drinking hibiscus tea spiked with tequila.
No.
I mean, you know, I'm just trying to make it, you know, possibly realistic. So I'm with you. We do need to gather. I think, you know what I think is going to take? One, I agree, awareness, right?
Yeah, that we're losing connection.
I think those friendship circles that we've made, we got to just start circling around, like passing the baton. I think that's the only way we're going to possibly do it amongst the millennials specifically, because I feel like the boomers, everybody's going over auntie house.
Yeah.
There was one gathering place. Most of the time we was going over her house. I don't think the millennials have the resources and the thing.
And we spread out a little more.
If it's a real conscious decision to continue to do a thing, I think the baton needs to be passed. If you have a home, cool. You can invite your people to the crib and y'all could just do the thing. If you don't have a home, maybe you just plan something. Okay, we're going to the park, right? Because, I mean, everybody can do that. We going to the park, woo, woo, woo. If you don't want to go to the park, okay, meet at the bar. You know what I mean?
So much more spread out than we used to be. That like a lot of folks, they move for work, they move for a different scenery, and like a lot of millennials are like very spread out. Like I feel like our parents and like the boomers and stuff, like they were always around each other. Like my granny's house was like 10 minutes from my grandmother's house, my mom's house, and so like
people would live on the same street.
Yeah, like they're down the street. Like you weren't going like over like 10 minutes to get to a close family member's house. Whereas I feel like now, like my mom lives across town from me. So when she wants to see my baby, she has to come all the way across town. I got to go all the way across town. And so it's a lot less frequent than it probably ever would be if we still lived like in Oak Cliff.
Yeah. Like I just think as millennials, and I really want to drive home us, because the pod is for us, and the pod is to reshape how we're thinking of stuff. In order to get together, we have to allow consciousness and flexibility to actually getting together, whatever that looks like. So the consciousness of, I do think it's important. I do think it brings value to my life, other people's life around me, woo, woo, woo. And then, okay, who is aligned with me to do this, right? And so and when I say aligned, I mean who thinks the same thing and who is willing to put it. Yes, because you remember when I played that family reunion back in the Gap, and the people wasn't.
Baby, I still remember that one quote. You were trying to give them like a banquet dinner, a T-shirt, and it was like $20, and they was like, "That's too much."
Couldn't stand them. But I realized then, I was like, nah,
they're
you
not on
gotta
the same
get the
page.
ones that's down. Yeah. You got to get the ones and it's okay if the other people are not down. I think that's totally.
Sometimes you don't have space for it.
Okay, because exactly. And so I think that being intentional about that and then passing the baton, being okay with what it looks like, being willing to help, and then also using your resources. I don't know, I feel like I need to take a survey for all the millennials, but use your calendar for everything.
Oh, have to.
Everything.
I wouldn't show up half the places I was supposed to be if I didn't have.
You cannot only use your calendar for like work. You really do need to use your calendar for the rest of the things in your life. So get ahead of it so that nobody's scrambling, right? Like, okay, in May, we probably need to start planning the Juneteenth situation. And that's me being generous. May, 30 days out. You know what I'm saying? Like, at least. But I do think, it's important. I think we should do it. I enjoy Juneteenth because Black folk genuinely be happy to be celebrating us.
Yes.
It's not the 4th of July.
And I think it's even more special now because we had so many difficulties the past few years.
I don't know. I do think I might have to disagree. I think making it a holiday has given us more material.
Well, yeah.
we got more stuff to laugh about. But I think we've always been quite excited about it and together about it. It's just now the spotlight is on. I feel like we just have more material, no?
Well, I mean, like in the positioning of like being able to celebrate after all the COVID and whatnot. Like I feel like it's the resurgence.
Oh, now that we outside?
Yeah, now that we're outside again. I feel like it has a bit of a renewed vigor in a few ways. Not necessarily saying that like folks weren't, on board, but I feel like now that people have kind of been like outside,
mm-hmm.
it's taken, I guess you could say, kind of taken back that community and that interaction that we were kind of missing for a bit. And, corporate going corporate, but as long as I feel like it stays, if it's true to you, then
mm-hmm.
it's going to be true to you because, everything is commoditized. Everybody's trying to make a buck off of whatever they're trying to make a buck off of. And if that's Blackness or community or a holiday or something they can run a sale for, then they're going to do it. And so you just have to decide what things mean to you and celebrate those things with people who also feel the same way.
I 100% agree. Okay, I have another kind of wrap-up question. What do you think, and this is a very hypothetical, ridiculous question.
Oh, Lord, okay.
The answer cannot be reparations. Your answer probably would not be reparations.
I'm never going to say reparations,
at all.
But go ahead.
Of course, I just, whatever, just in case the rules of the game. But most holidays, like your birthday and things like that, you get a gift, your graduation, all that other stuff. What would you give Black people as a gift for Juneteenth? You cannot say reparations and you cannot say the day off.
Oh.
It got to be an actual gift.
It's like Kwanzaa. What, we're supposed to make something? What?
You know what? I should have made it that difficult. Yes. I should have said, what would you whittle out of wood and give?
I'm going to actually, because I had this conversation with my husband and like a couple other people before. And so I'm going to have to circumvent your thing because this is very specific to Black people. I said that the descendants of all the slaves in Texas who did that work for 2 years for free should be able to sue the state of Texas for that money, for those families, for unpaid wages during that 2 years when they kept people enslaved when they weren't supposed to. So technically, a form of reparations.
Wow. Okay. You not wrong, though. If it was Jewish people, they would have sued them.
Baby, if I was a lawyer, I'd be like, I would pro bono that one. I would pro bono that one. We were doing a class action.
Yeah.
A class action against the entire state for lost wages from everybody's family. and we to bring it up to speed for inflation. I need to know how much money you owe these people.
Take it to the banks. Okay.
My answer gonna be money.
I get that. My answer, I've thought about a lot of just stuff around Black people and inequity and all that type of stuff. I jokingly said one day that Black people should just get everything made out of cotton for free.
I remember this because money is actually partially made from cotton.
I'm gonna go with that. If it is a cotton product, y'all don't give it here. It's mine. I don't know how long that should last. Should it be a lifetime? I don't know how long was slavery.
Sugar.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And corn, rice, like, you know what I'm saying? Shoot, we can get down to woodwork, hell, hand over the White House. I mean, you know, it's a lot of stuff that we could take back, okay? Yes. But I would, I was like, this is really going easy on people. I'm sure Haynes and, you know, people like that would have a problem, but arguably, baby, if it's made out of cotton, you need to pay back into some folk. So I guess so. Is the whole podcast about money?
I mean, my answer is gonna be money for most. It's money. Like, listen, money is not evil. The love of money is evil, but the actual money, you needed to do stuff. Like, you needed to do stuff.
You do. In my head, I'm thinking that Dave Chappelle picture of him holding that money close to his chest on from the Chappelle show. I might try to put that into the edit.
All them people who let Black neighborhoods burn down, and I be the.
You said, imagine. This is on a whole nother tangent. Imagine the reactions from the Black people that heard that they was free, and then when they found out the news, they was 2 years behind. And I just want to say that because Black reactions are so wild, and I'm sure it was like, you know, hallelujah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like freedom, like, oh my God. However, when that wore off, the private conversations and jokes between those people had to be one for the book. Well, obviously it is one for the books. I mean, hell, it's a whole holiday right now. But imagine somebody coming down and be like, I feel like they look up and down. Y'all still doing that?
Look,
y'all still?
Oh, y'all about to announce something?
Oh.
What? Wait, what?
Yeah.
Wait.
Y'all know y'all was free, right? Y'all know y'all was free. Imagine someone saying y'all was free
2 years ago.
I feel like I would. Well, obviously, you still.
You know, it's
still
also
Black.
But that's how you know
what?
Black people really just want to be left alone because they ain't tearing nothing up. They, you know what?
Listen, me, okay, in my privileged, born free self, I'm knocking over tables, slapping things out of people's hands, pushing people down. Can you imagine? I know we can't make a skit out of that, kind of like Drunk History. Actually, Drunk History should make a tiny skit out of that part because I know the reaction was wild. Wild, Breon. I can't even do it now. And then, anyway, we ain't gonna get into the history of like where they went after that, or what racism and slavery and all that other stuff like rolled into. Because then you got to go into the sharecropping and
Jim Crow,
and then right, like, all right, but imagine.
You've been working at a job for 2 years and they told you was fired and you ain't been paid. Yeah. That's why I said my gift would be all the families get to sue the state of Texas for lost wages.
Yo, it's imagine. Just imagine. It's a wonder we start chopping off heads and going crazy. Anyway, well, I think that about wraps up the episode just about Juneteenth. I wanted to get on here because it's such a mixed bag of feelings. When I think of Juneteenth, I genuinely think of the happiness of Black folk in general. Like, and it hits real hard because it's specifically for African Americans in Texas. Yeah, I mean, and shout out to Biden and that raggedy stand of solidarity. But it has given us
at least it gave some Black people a break. And at this point, that's all I can.
And that's the wild part. Some, because
everybody ain't close to.
I don't even. We're going to keep this positive. I'm not going to make this a negative podcast. Yes, it gave some Black people a day off, a little bit of break. Shout out to everybody on Juneteenth. I hope everybody enjoys their day. Houston is raining right now, so nobody's really outside. We hunkering down. But we going to watch the pop out. So we going to watch Kendrick do his thing. I hope y'all barbecue. Eat some red. Maybe I'll go find some hibiscus tea just for authenticity. Being intentional about my celebrations. Next year, we going to do something. I don't know what it's going to be. But next year, let's do something for Juneteenth, if possible.
I'm with it.
You coming down? You going to come down?
Come down. I'll bring the baby.
You know I planned a good party.
She'll be old enough to kind of be in the cookout if we cooking out.
I might even get a bounce house for children. Oh. And you know, I don't even accommodate kids like that. But on the sheer word of freedom, do your thing. Yeah, okay then. Well, Black people and others, if you listen to the pod, stay dangerous, Black folk. Stay safe, white folk. Stay silent. That's why I'm going to tell you, don't fall for the okie doke.
Have some tea.
Don't fall.
And don't get caught up.
Enjoy yourself. Everybody gets their little time off. Enjoy Juneteenth. And until the next episode, don't forget to follow Bree. Tell the people where they can find you.
You can find me at Black Gold Texas T, the letter T, not T-E-E, on Instagram. You can find.
Okay. Black Gold Texas T. Don't forget to listen to the playlist. This is probably my favorite playlist since I've been doing the pod. So I would love feedback on the pod. You can find it on Spotify. You can find it on YouTube. And until next time, cheers.
Happy Juneteenth.
As usual, don't forget to check out this episode's playlist on Spotify or YouTube by clicking the link in the bio.